Welcome to the lecture. So today we are going to discuss a topic that is to be known as the time and work. Okay. So now we will start. First of all, what is the time and work and what is the introduction and the various concepts and the question that will be asked in the time and work. Time and work deals with the time taken by an individual or a group of the individuals to complete a piece of work. Okay. And also there is one term that is to be known as the efficiency of the work done by each of them. So we have to deal with that. Now, there are the basic types of the questions which may be asked in this examinations with respect to the time and work topic. Okay. So, what will be the first type of the question? To find out the efficiency of a person. Next will be that to find out the time taken by an individual to do a piece of work, or to find out the time taken by the group of individuals to complete a piece of work. Now, similarly, it will be also used to find out the work done by an individual in a certain time duration, or the work done by a group of individuals in a certain time duration. So, these are the various types of the problems that we are going to study in the today's topic. Okay. Now, first of all, basically there are two approaches to solve the time and work question. The first is to be known as the unitary method and the second is to be known as the LCM method. Okay. So, first we will discuss with the unitary method. Okay. And in the books, all the questions will be solved with this unitary method. We have to avoid this method. Okay. So, what will be now we will be discussing both, and similarly then we will use the LCM method to solve the questions, and we have to adopt these method. Okay. So, nowadays 95% question will be solved by this method, but there will be 5% question that we have to go by the conventional method, that is to be known as the unitary method, or also name is also suggested as a fraction method. Okay. Now, we will discuss both. First of all, that is to be known as the unitary method. Okay. So, first of all, let's take an example to understand this. If A completes the work in 10 days and B completes the same work in 15 days. Okay. So, we have to find out then A and B working together will finish the work in how many days. So, what will be the simple procedure? That is, first of all, we will discuss about A. So, A is doing 10 days, that should be equal to one work is to be completed in 10 days. So, we have to find out the 1 day work. So, what will be the 1 day work? So, 1 day work will be 1 upon 10 work. Okay. As you can see that there is a note that days are not directly additive in nature. Okay. It means we cannot add or subtract days, but we can add or subtract work or person. Okay. So, the 1 day work that should be added, and similarly the 1 day work for the B is to be calculated, and we can solve this. So, similarly for the B, as we can see that B does one work in 15 days. So, in 15 days one work is to be completed. Similarly, here the 1 day work will be equal to 1 upon 15. Okay. So, now we can add the works. So, A plus B's 1 day work, that will be 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15, and 1 by 10 plus that will be 1 by 15. First of all, we will take the LCM. That will be 30. So, it will be 3, it will be 2. So, it will be 5 upon 30, and when we solve it, it comes out to be 1 upon 6. That is written here. Okay. Now, as we can see that is 1 by 6 work is to be completed in 1 day. But we have to do how much amount of work? We have to do the 1 work. So, 1 work is to be done in 1 upon 1 by 6, that is come out to be 6 days. Okay. So, this is the method that how we can solve the questions with the unitary method. Okay. So, as we know that there is a fraction value, so that's why it is also known by a name of a fraction method. In the books or wherever you find the questions will only be solved with this method. Okay. Now, we will discuss the LCM method, that is the shortcut method, and how this comes. Okay. So, what will be the simple procedure? First of all, we will study how this method is to be needed. Why? What is the need for this method? Okay, let's take an example. If I am saying a value, what is the value for 3 plus 5? Okay, all of you can answer it with the value is equal to 8. But if I am asking that what will be the value for 1 by 3 plus 1 by 5? Okay, it will take us some more time than this finding this value. It will be 8 upon 15. Okay, so that means if anybody is getting a question like in numerical values, so it will be easier to solve the question. Okay, and in mathematics there is only one tool that can convert any fraction into numeric, that is to be known as the LCM. So that's why this method is to be known by a name of LCM method. Okay, now we will understood the procedure. First, as we know that A can do a piece of work in 10 days and B can do the same piece of work in 15 days. So first of all, we will take LCM for this. So what will be the LCM for 10 and 15? It comes out to be 30. Okay, this is the total work done. This to be known by name as total work done. So we have to complete the 30 work in 10 days. So what will be the 1 day work? We have been completing a 3 work in 1 day, just 30 divided by 10. Similarly, 30 work is to be completed in 15 days. So what will be the 1 day work? It will be 2. Now, according to the question, he will be asking for 1A plus B's. Okay. So as we know that A can do 3 work in 1 day and B can do 2 work in 1 day. So what will be the amount of work that should be done by the A plus B? That will be 3 plus 2, 5. Now, I am doing 5 work in 1 day. Okay. And we have to do 30 work. So in the same meantime, we have to find out in how many days the 30 work is to be completed. So 1 work, that is to be 1 by 5, and 30 work, that is to be equal to 30 by 5, and it should come out to be 6 days. That is also the previous answer. So this is how we can solve the question in the LCM method with the time and work. Okay, and there are some formulas also if you want to use it. If there are 2 persons, if A can do a work in X days and B can do the same piece of work in Y days, then that if the question will be asked for in how many days they together complete the work. So the formula will be X into Y upon may X plus Y. So just put down the values. So it will be 10 into 15 and it will be 10 plus 15, that will be 25. So 5 3 ja, 5 5 ja, and 5 2 ja, and 3 into 2, that will also be 6. Okay. Similarly, if there are 3 persons, the formula will be XYZ upon XY plus YZ plus ZX. Okay. I hope it is clear to all of you how to use the unitary method and how to solve the questions with the LCM method. Okay. Now we will discuss some questions. Now the first question he will be asking, A can do a piece of work in 30 days. So in the question, A is doing a piece of work in 30 days and B is doing the same piece of work in 40 days. So he will be asked in how many days A and B working together can do it. So just take LCM for this. So what will be the LCM? It will be the 120. And now what will be the 1 day work? So 120 divided by 30, that will be 4, and 120 divided by 40, that will be 3. Okay, now you will be asked in how many days A and B working together. So what we have to find out? Just add those two values, because according to the question it will be 7. So 7 work is to be completed in 1 day. The 120 work is to be completed in 120 upon 7, and we will solve it. 7 into 1, that will be 50, 7 7 is 49, it will be 17 1 by 7 days. Okay, so the answer will be the option B. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you how to solve the questions by using the LCM method. Now, the next example, he is saying that A and B together. As we know that if there are 2 persons, then what are the possibilities? That is A, B and A plus B. Similarly, if there are the 3 persons, then what will be the possibilities? A, B, A plus B, then it will be and C also, then A plus B, B plus C, then C plus A, and then A plus B plus C. So if the 3 persons are there, so there will be the total 7 possibilities. Out of these 7, any 3 can be given. Okay. Now we will discuss how these questions will be solved. So what will be saying? He will be saying that A plus B can complete a work in 12 days. B plus C can do it in 20 days. And C plus A can do it in 15 days. Okay. Now he will be asking in how many days A, B and C together can do the work. So the very first method, that will be always equal to the, first of all we will take the LCM. What will be the LCM? So the LCM of 12, 20 and 15, that will be the 60. Now we have to find out the 1 day work. So 60 work is to be done in 12 days. So what will be the 1 day work? 5. Then 60 upon 20, that will be 3, and 60 upon 15, that will be 4. Okay, but we have to find out the value of A plus B plus C. But we can see that there should be no thing coming so that we can make it. But if we add all these three values, a plus b, then b plus c, and then c plus a, so what I will be getting, it will be twice of a plus b plus c. So what is the value here? So twice of a plus b plus c is doing a work 5 plus 3, 8 plus 4, 12. So twice of a plus b plus c are doing 12 work in one day. So a plus b plus c will be doing how much amount of work? That will be 6. Let's take another example. If two persons can do 50 work in one day, so what will be the amount of the work done by the one person? That will be 25. It will be 25 only if these two persons are same, okay? And here is a twice of the same thing, so that's why we have put it down at just half value. Otherwise, it may be different. It may be 40, 10, it may be 30, 20, so it may be different. So a plus b plus c's one day work, that should be equal to the 6. Now, if I can do 6 work in one day, then 60 work is to be done in how many days? It will be just 60 upon 6, that will be the 10 days. Okay, so this will be the way how we can find out the answer for A, B and C. Okay, so these are the some questions that we have to think about how to solve it, how to read the question and how to utilize the information given in the questions. Next will be he will be saying, in a barrack of a soldiers, there was the stock of a food for 190 days for 4,000 soldiers. After 30 days, 800 soldiers left the barrack. So we have to find out in how many days the leftover food will last. Okay, so for the remaining soldiers. This question can be solved in two ways. First of all, if you don't think anything in the question, just multiply the number of days with the number of persons. So what will be the total food? That will be 190 into 4,000. This will be the total food available. Now, after 30 days, that means 30 days have been gone. So 30 days, 4,000 soldiers, how much amount of food is to be consumed? This is the total food. This is the food consumed food we can say. And the next will be the, now 800 soldiers left the barrack. So how many will be remaining? It will be 3,200. And I am again saying that let the x days, for the x days this food will last. So x into 3,200. This will be the food to be consumed. Okay, so these two things, it should be equal to the addition of this should be equal to this total. Okay, so just put it down the values, take it to the another way. So it will be 190 minus 30 and 4,000 will be common and it should be equal to x into 3,200. Okay, and it will be 160 into 4,000. And it will be x into 3,200. Solve with double zeros, and it will be 1610 and it will be 16 and 2 it will be 5 and 5 into 40 that will be 20. So it will be 200. So now the food will last for the 200 days. Okay, so this is the conventional method you can follow. There is also another method to solve this, that will be the M1 D1 is equal to M2 D2. Okay, so we will discuss it later also. Now, what is this formula is saying, that if some persons are doing a work in these number of days and the same work is to be done by other number of persons in these days, so we can equate them because the total work done should be same. So here also, what is the 30 days have gone, so what is the total number of days remaining? So 190 minus 30, that will be the 160. Okay, so just put down the values. So 160 into 4,000. Okay, so this will be the total food that is to be consumed. Now we don't know the number of the days, so we have assumed that it will be x and the number of person that will be 3,200 because 800 also left. Okay, so now we again, this is the same equation, and if we solve it, what will be the x value? That will be 200. Okay, so these are the two ways by which you can solve this question. Now, similarly, what will be the next question? He will be saying A and B can do a piece of work in 72 days. Okay, now the question will be given that A plus B is doing a work in 72. Now, B plus C is doing the work in 120 and similarly A plus C is doing the 90 days. Okay, now he will be asked at what time, in what time the A can do alone the same piece of work. So that means we have to find out the A, but before finding A, we have to find out the A plus B plus C. Okay, so first of all, what will be the LCM? The LCM will be 360. Now 1 day work, it will be 5, it will be 3 and it will be 4. Now similarly, twice of A plus B plus C can do a how much amount of work? So 5 plus 3, 8 plus 4, that will be 12. So A plus B plus C's 1 day work, that should be equal to the 6. Okay. So this is the 1 day work only. So A plus B plus C's 1 day work is, I am talking about only 1 day work. That will be 6, not the number of days. Okay. So as we can see that he will be asked about A. So as we know that B plus C's 1 day work, that should be equal to 3. So if B plus C's 1 day work is equal to 3, then what will be the 1 day work of A? A's 1 day work, that will be 6 minus 3, that should be equal to 3. So if A's 1 day work is 3, then in how many days? I am talking about A. A's 1 day work is 3, then in how many days 360 work will be completed? So 360 divided by 3 and it comes out to be 120. Okay, so this will be the answer, in how many days the A will be completing the work. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you how to solve the question. So if the A alone, B alone or C alone we have to find out, then we have to find out the together work, and then from that we can find out the remaining values. Okay, now there is a next type that is to be known as the alternate days. What is the meaning of the alternate days? Alternate days means that I am doing a work on one day, on another day the second person will be coming, or alternate hours. On 1 hour one person is doing, another hour second person is doing, and so on. Okay, so let's understood with an example. He will be saying that Ganga and Saraswati, two ladies are there, Ganga and Saraswati, that are working separately, can move a field in 8 hours and 12 hours respectively. Now, if they work in the stretches of 1 hour alternatively and Ganga started at 9 am, then when will be the moving will be completed. Okay, one thing you should keep in mind that in the case of the alternate days, it should be given that who will be starting the work, because if it is not given, then there may be the different answers for the each and every student. So that's why it should be mentioned, and here it is be mentioned at 9 am. Okay, we will discuss it later. First of all, we have to find out the total number of hours in which the work is completed. So Ganga is doing in 8 hours and Saraswati will be taking 12 hours. So first of all, the very first step will be the LCM. So the LCM will be 24. 1 day work of 1 hour work, that will be 3 and it will be 2. Now, how the work will be completed? On the very first hour, Ganga will be doing in 3 hours or 3 works, and in the second hour, Saraswati will be doing 2 works in 1 hour. Similarly, the next term will be the Ganga, it will be 3, then the fourth it will be the Saraswati, it will be 2 and so on. Okay, so where the total becomes 24, that will be our answer. So because it's not a good thing that we have to write all the values, because it is a competitive examination, so we have to think about the various things. So let's make some pattern. So as we can see that in 2 hours, the total work that is to be completed is 5 work. Okay, in 2 hours 5 work is to be completed, then again 2 hours 5 work. So first, if the 24 is the multiple of 5, then there is nothing. Just multiply it, put down the values and give the answer. But if it is not a multiple, just check below the value, that is the multiple of 5. So what is the value less than 24 multiple of 5? That will be the 20. So just multiply it with the 4, and here also it will be 4. So in 8 hours 20 work will be completed. Okay, so this will be the in 8 hours 20 work will be completed. Now what will be the next term? That will be the in 9th hour, because we are ending at the Saraswati. So the next that will be coming is the Ganga, and Ganga will be doing how much amount of work? 3 work. So in the 9th hour 23 work will be completed. But in the next hour, that is the 10th, so what will be the turn of which person? That will be of the Saraswati, and Saraswati will be doing 2 works, but we only require 1 work. So as we know that 1 hour 2 work for Saraswati, so 1 work that will be in half hour. So that means according to a person, in 9.5 hours, the 24 work will be completed if they work on the alternate hours. Okay, so as we have started at 9 am, so from 9 am 9.5 hours, that will be 18.5, and 18.5 hours in the 24-hour clock, that means to be 6:30 p.m. Okay, so this will be the time at which the total work or the moving will be completed. So the answer will be option B. I hope it is clear to all of you. So how to think about the alternate things you should keep in mind. First of all, we have to find out the one day work. Then we have to look about the question that what he or she will be asking, whatever values will be given, and then we have to solve the question in that way. Okay. Now, there is also one another type, that is to be on the men and day. Though 8 men can do a piece of work in 12 days. Okay. So now here will be given 8 men can do a piece of work in 12 days. Then similarly 4 women can do it in 48 days. And the 10 children can do it in 24 days. So in how many days 10 men, 4 women and children together complete the piece of work. So if this type of any question that will be containing the men, women and children and other things. Okay, if more than one type will be considered, there is only one method to solve this. That is the rule that we have already learned. M1D1 is equal to M2D2. And how it should be implied? It should be implied by converting the question into either form. Either you can convert the question into men, or either you can convert the question into women, or either you can convert the question into children. Okay, the answer will remain same. We are doing with the men. Okay, so as we know that 8 men can do a work in 12 days and the 4 women is doing in 48 days and the 10 children is doing in 24 days. Okay, so now question will be asked, in how many days 10 men, 4 women and 10 children will do it? Okay, so first of all we have to convert this women into men and this children into men. So as we know that we will use, so men and women relation. So 8 men can do a work in 12 days. So the same work is to be completed by 4 women in 48 days. So find out the relation. It will be 12 into 4 and it will be 4 into 2 and 2 will be 2. So that means 1 man is equal to 2 women. This will be the relation. So we have to find out for the 4 women is equal to 2 men. Okay, so this will be the relation. Just put it down here. So here it will be 10 men plus it will be 2 men. Okay, plus now as we know that what will be the children. So 8 men can do a work in 12 days. The same work is to be done by 10 children in 24 days. So it will be 12, 2, 2, it will be 4 and it will be 2 and it will be 5. So that means 2 men is equal to 5 children. But we have to find out the 10 children. So 10 children is equal to 4 men. Okay. Now just put down the values. So it will be 4 plus 2, 6 plus 10, that should be equal to 16 men. Okay. Now the question is very simpler. If 8 men can do a work in 12 days, then in how many days 16 men can do the same piece of work? So what will be the value? So 8 is doing a work in 12 days. So 16 will be doing it into X days. So now solve it. 8 into 2 and 2, it will be 6 and the value will be 6. So the whole work will be completed in 6 days. Okay. You can check also by the same thing by putting the values of the woman and the men or converting the question either in a woman or either in a children. Okay. The answer will remain same. So it depends upon you how to use the variables and how do you choose the questions to be solved. Now, there is also the questions regarding the efficiency also. So, A is thrice as good as a workman as a B and therefore is able to finish a job in 30 days less than B. Okay. So, in how many days will they take to finish the job working together? Okay. Let's simple just as you know that what will be the efficiency? Efficiency is the 1 day work. So, whatever be the efficiency that will directly related to the 1 day work. So, here is a A, here is a B. I am assuming that B is taking the X days to complete a work. Then in how many days? A will be taking X minus 30 days. Okay, so there will be some LCM, it will be denoted by L. Now, as we know that A is thrice as good as B. So, that means if the B is doing the 1 day work, one work, so A will be doing the 3 works. Okay, so this can be related. As we know that the multiplication of these two values, it should be equal to this. So, just put down the values. So, X minus 30 into 3, that should be equal to X into 1. Okay, now put down 3X minus 90, it should be equal to X. So, 2X is equal to 90 and X will be equal to 45. So, just put down the values. So, in how many days if you will be asking, here it will be 45 minus 30, that will be the 15 and here will be directly it will be 45 and the LCM will be 45. So it will be asked in how many days will they take to finish the work together. So as we know that A is 1 day work is, now the question is very simple. A is 15, B is 45, and here it will be 45, here it will be 3, and it will be 1. So A plus B is 1 day work, that will be 4. So in how many days? 45 divided by 4, and it will be 11 into 1 by 4 days. Okay, so in this way you can solve the question, and there is also the formulas that you can also put, but there is no need to remember the formulas. Okay, now this is the same things that we have already discussed earlier, that is the known by the chain rule. Here we have a simple formula, here we have a 3 formulas. Now we will convert this into the one single formula that will be easy to remember. That will be M1 D1 H1 E1 upon W1 is equal to M2 D2 H2 E2 upon W2. Okay, just relate with this. This is the last and the final. Here the W2 is multiplied here with E1 and the W1 is multiplied by E2. So I have just converted this. Thus this W1 is here and this W2 is here. So I have just put down it in the denominator value. So one terms will be on the one side and the second terms will be on the second side. Okay, and depending upon the questions, we can use the various values. If the question is containing only man and days, then it will be M1 D1 upon W1 is equal to M2 D2 upon W2. If they will be using the hours, then we will be including the hours. If they will be using the efficiency, then we will include the efficiency. Okay, so it depends upon the, just remember this formula and put down the values that is given in the question only. Okay, rest will be removed. Let's take an example for this. Now he will be saying that 39 persons can repair a road in 12 days. Okay, so 12 days is here and working 5 hours a day. So the M1 that will be equal to 39, the D1 that will be equal to the 12 days. Okay, and the H1 that should be equal to the 5 hours a day. Now in how many days will the 30%? So what will be the value for the M2? That will be equal to 30, and the H2 that will be given 6 hours a day, and we have to find out the D2. So this should be assumed as X. So as the work is same, so W1 if you want to assume as a W, so W2 will also be W, but it will be cancel out. So just the formula. So the main formula is M1 D1 H1 upon W1 is equal to M2 D2 H2 upon W2, but as the work is same, so it will be cancelled out. So if you want to put it, then put it, otherwise don't need. So what will be the M1 value? It will be 39, it will be the 12 into 5, and it should be equal to the 30 and into X and into 6. Okay, now just solve the values. So what we will be getting? It will be zeros 5 into 6. This will be 6 into, it will be 2, and this will be 13, and this will be equal to 3, 2, and it will be 2 will be cancelled out. So what will be the value? That will be the 13. Okay, so the answer will be option B. So in this way you can just put down the values and find out the answer that will be given in the question. Okay, now there is another one thing that comes in the time and work, that is to be known by the name of the work and the wages. Okay, what is the meaning of wages? Wages means, you can say, the salary or the payment or the money that a person receives while doing some, against doing the work. Okay, so we have to consider, there is only one rule, that if you find out the 1 day work, that we have already learned, that 1 day work ratio, just divide the amount into the 1 day work ratio, you will get out the wages of that person. Okay, now we will understood this with the example. Now he will be saying that A alone can do a piece of work in 3 days. So A will be doing a work that is to be in 3 days, while B alone can do the same piece of work in 2 days. Okay, they have to work together and the total wages will be 2 to 5 rupees. Okay, so what will be the procedure? Just find out the 1 day work ratio. So the LCM will be 6 and it will be 2 and it will be 3. So that means A ratio B is 2 ratio 3. That is their 1 day work ratio, and in this ratio this 2 to 5 is to be distributed. So we have to find out the share of the A. So what will be the answer? So it will be 2 upon 2 plus 3, that will be 5, and into 2 to 5. So it will be 5 4s are 20 and 5 5s are 25. 45 into 2, that will be 90. Okay, so what will be the share of A? That will be this. I hope it is clear to all of you. So just we have to find out the 1 day work ratio, and that amount is to be divided in the 1 day work ratio, and your answer will be the given. Okay. Now let's take some other way, that question may be asked in different way also. So we will take another example to understand it better clarity. A, B and C completed a work costing rupees 1800. Okay, so A worked for the 6 days and B worked for the 4 days and C worked for the 9 days. So the number of working days will be given, and if their daily wages are already given in the ratio, okay, so if it is given in the ratio, so what will be the daily wages value? Just assume this will be A, B and C. So it will be 5x, it will be 6x and it will be 4x. Okay, this is the daily wage that they are receiving. Now, as what will be the amount a person will be receiving? That will be the number of days he will be working. So if I am working for only 6 days, so I will be receiving a total amount of 6 into 5, that will be the 30x. Okay, so similarly, what will be the amount that I have been receiving? Because I am working for the 4 days only B, so it will be 24x, and the C will be working only for 9 days, so he will be receiving the amount only for the 9 days. So it will be 36x. So just we have to find out the ratio, and in this ratio the total amount is to be divided, because the daily wages is given and the number of days are given. So we have to find out the equal amount. Okay, so it should be known. So either you can multiply or you can just cancel out the values in the multiplication also. So 6 will be cancelled out with this 6, but here how it 6 be formed? So 3 from here and 2 from here, so it will be the 6. Now again, if something will be cancelled, you can cancel it, otherwise you can just put on. So it will be the 5 ratio, then it will be the 4 and it will be the 6. So this will be the final ratio you will be getting, and in this ratio divide this rupees 1800. So you have been asked how much amount will be received by A. So it will be 5 upon 6 plus 4, 10 plus 5, 15 into that will be 100. So 5, 3 and 3, it will be 600. So 600 amount will be received by the A in the form of wages. Okay, so I hope it is clear to all of you how to understand the basics of the wages and how the questions to be solved. Okay, thank you.